All right, guys. Today we're at the shop. Well, actually, it's more than a shop, but I'm gonna get into all that in a second. This, by the way, right here behind me, this is what we call a scale. That's how we buy cars. All right, that's very important. That's gonna come in a little bit later. But basically, whenever someone is done with their car, it's trash, no good, engine's bad, whatever, motor's bad. What do you do with a car? You scrap it. I'm the guy you call, okay? And here's why we scrap cars. Come over here.
Walk us through.
So anyway, scale, super expensive piece of technology. It's got to get permitted. It's got to get tested like a couple times a year, right? Now, why do we do that? Because we pay you for how much the car weighs, okay? The bigger car you have, the more money we give you. The smaller car you have, the less money. And honestly, that's a good reason not to be buying Priuses, because those things don't really weigh that much. And you're going to be really disappointed when I tell you I can only do 200 for your car, okay? So don't buy Priuses. It doesn't matter where you bring in, old, new, it does not matter. We'll buy it as long as you can get it onto the scale, okay? For example, last week we had a guy bring in a 94 Chevy C1500, right? Thing is rotting from underneath, rusted, doesn't look that great, okay? We bought it, I think it came out being something around 500 bucks, 600 bucks, okay? Now, are we gonna make money on that? Let's find out. Okay, so this is the car I'm talking about, all right? Obviously, it's nothing amazing. I mean, even if you look at it from underneath, you can see the bed and the actual trunk are kind of caving in. The reason that's happening is because everything underneath is rusted. This thing's not gonna drive, okay? Now, we have a clean title for it, so if someone did want to buy it, we could sell it to them. We're not gonna do that, okay? And the reason we're not gonna do that is because we're gonna make more money just selling individual parts than the entire thing, okay? The wheels, almost brand new, alternator, engine, everything's solid, okay? The guy just didn't want it because it's rusted, okay? The guys who I worked with told me this is a piece of junk, we just need to crush it and get rid of it. I told them, listen, that's not how you make money with cars, all right? So what I did, I posted this sucker everywhere. I posted it on my Instagram, I posted this on my Craigslist, I posted it on my Facebook, everywhere I could. And guess what happened? Within the first 30 minutes, I had over 20 messages of people who wanted to come in and buy stuff, okay? Come over here. Can you tell me what's wrong with this right here? Take a look inside. What's wrong with this car? All right, now, if you said it's missing a lot of shit, you'd be right. Now, we sold it. We sold all of it. Okay, we sold the column, we sold the seats. We actually got some more seats to sell just back here, these last seats. Yeah, someone's gonna buy those. We're gonna sell the door panel, okay? Then we're gonna sell the door itself, okay? And then we're gonna sell the tailgate, we're gonna sell the tires, we're gonna sell the engine, and the transmission, we're gonna sell it. Okay, so, buying and selling junk cars and parts, it's only half my job, okay? Here's part two. And this is actually about 50% of it. Once we get those tires off those cars, we don't just throw them away. We recycle them, because not everybody needs new tires. A lot of people need used tires. Well, good used tires. That's what we do here too. So I don't know how well you're gonna see this, but we got a lot of tires. We have 3 different warehouses, okay? This is one. We have another one that has new tires. It's not as big. And then we have a third location that's off-site. Nobody knows about top secret stuff.
Top secret.
Now, how do we sell these tires? Obviously, we have to basically clean them. We have to make sure they're not damaged, because here's the worst part. If you want to sell a tire, you can't sell a tire that has sidewall damage. I mean, technically you could, but that's legally stupid. So you don't do that. How do we test if it has sidewall damage or any of that? We have this beautiful machine right over here. This machine right here will test 99% of the imperfections. Now, we have a guy, a special technician. He takes care of this machine. He basically does all of this. I don't touch this. I'm not qualified to do this, okay? This is all that he's done just in one day. There's about maybe 50 tires just in this one rack, okay? Now, even though there's 50 solid tires on this rack, we have to find out what kind of tires these are, what sizes they are. We have to inventory them, and we have to take pictures. That's a lot of just data entry. So,
how do you take inventory of the tires?
Good question. We do it through a very manual process of taking the tires from the rack and going into my little office over here. Now, this office is where we take photos. All right, we got the computer set up over here, and we got the entire little studio right over here on the other side. I'm not gonna turn on the lights because the camera we're using right now, if we turn on the lights that are in this room, would probably burn out my sensor. So I'm not gonna turn them on, but you can just imagine how white and bright it gets in here. It's really, really bright. We got actually 3 cameras in here, ready to go at any time. And yeah, that's just one part. So anyway, once we get those photos from these cameras, we can step outside. Once those photos have been taken, we have to get someone to go through all those photos and put all that information into our software. Software is really expensive, but we need it. And the reason we need it is because when a customer comes in and says, hey, I'm looking for 225, 65, 20 Goodyear Wrangler tires, if I had to come in here and look through all these tires, where it is, and all that information, that's ridiculous. Okay, that's an absolutely ridiculous system to have. So I just have an app for it. I go into my app and I just look it up. Okay, and it tells me exactly what I have, where I have it, and how much should I sell it for. Pretty nifty. Okay. Okay, so once we took everything off the car that we can, anything that's actually worth any money, and the car is basically just done. It's got nothing else. We'll take the car and we'll crush it in the crusher. And once it's crushed, it's gonna look like that. And once it looks like that, we call another guy to come in to buy that from us. And that's this. That's what I do.